I'm almost done with this chapter. I only read books by females. Run the world, girls.
You've probably seen this guy around. He carries around a tote bag, sipping a big old cup of matcha latte while reading feminist literature. Maybe has a labubu or two. If so, you have just seen what the internet refers to as a performative male. Essentially, the internet stereotype about these men are that they're pick-me's. But what exactly is a performative man? I know that the term performative men has some not so great origins. It's often referred to men who pretend to be into female interests in order to get close to women, and it's also a term that has been used to criticize men who boast that they're feminists without actually knowing anything, or also not being respectful. Kind of like the nice guy trope in a way mixed with a pygmy. But with this internet trend and starting to label certain aesthetics as performative, it seems like there may be a change in how that term is being used. Disclaimer, just want to put it out there that there's no issue with the act of reading or enjoying matcha, but a lot of the discourse is in the intention of how some men use this, especially in an attempt to manipulate, which I and most of the internet take issue with, and gives guys who genuinely enjoy these things a bit of a bad rep. I'm gonna admit, I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to this kind of stuff, but when I saw this trend pop up on my TikTok feed, I was like, why do half these guys kind of look like me? Am I performative? Maybe. I mean, I'm literally in acting school. But that's what I'm here to find out. What exactly are performative males? How do you spot one? What is soft masculinity? And even some of its darker sides. Yeah, I don't think this is really a new phenomenon. A lot of this just looks like soft boy aesthetics or like 2010s Tumblr core. The indie guy, the hipster, literally half the guys at the campus cafe. But the current era of performative males, that's kind of like the new DLC update. Anyways, this trend of spotting performative men has, just like all things, started on TikTok. After it blew up on TikTok, it's starting to bleed into the real world, with performative male contests popping up all over the country. And yes, again, I know that there are definitely men who genuinely enjoy matcha lattes. Matcha addict here, guilty. But we'll get a bit more in-depth about that a bit later. But first, let's talk a bit brief about the performative man. Think of it like peacocking, where you show certain aesthetics or values to try to attract a mate. People have been doing this for like hundreds, if not like over 1,000 years. But a big criticism in today's topic about this is its authenticity. With that being said, how do you spot a performative male? These are usually things that are curated to fit a specific aesthetic, an image of a non-toxic, progressive man. So let's take a look at what the internet says are the things that you need to be performative. Tote bags. It's considered to be one of the biggest flags for a performative male. You know, maybe it's because I've used them for like years, but if you're a city boy like me, you'll know just how convenient they are sometimes. I literally used mine last week to bring home some Jollibee. Drink choices that include matcha lattes and oat milk. This is kind of unfair because first off, I'm lactose intolerant, so oat milk all the way, unless you want me to be shitting myself at a Denny's. And I admit, I'm a matcha fiend. Give me that matcha ice cream, matcha tea. I don't care if some of you think that it tastes like literal grass. It is a comfort drink for me and I've been having that since I was a kid. Reading, mostly from women authors. While sipping away at their matcha latte, you can usually also catch them reading, mostly from women authors such as Sally Rooney or Bell Hooks. I actually remember having to read Bell Hooks once for a literature class like a couple of years ago, but since then I've read maybe like 5 books. I do really want to get back into reading, to be honest with you. Give me some book suggestions down below. In a performative context, these men would essentially be making a performance out of reading feminist literature to show how intellectual and progressive they are to women. I did see one the other day at like a cafe. They were reading that Michelle Obama book, Becoming Michelle Obama. The book is not about how to literally become Michelle Obama, by the way. Wired headphones, especially when it's tucked in the back ear like that. Like, come on. He's a man that does not feel the societal pressures of keeping up to date with technology. He's old school cool. Actually, I have one of these pairs myself. I mean, gotta use something when my AirPods die. Or I could just charge it. I don't know, it's nice having a spare. And speaking of old school cool, they would also often be collectors of CDs, CD players, and vinyls. Okay, this is just starting to sound like my dad a little bit. I would come home like once a week and he would always have like a new vinyl or a new speaker system. But yeah, vinyls are making a comeback on the alternative scene, making it the perfect performative prop. Labubus.
Oh, these are labubus.
What is it?
They're called labubus.
Oh god, it's these cursed things again. I literally spent 20 minutes the other day talking about these fucking gremlins. They essentially project an image of softness, is what the labubu kind of entails. And some critics think that men are liking this just for the show. I'll tell you right now, you'll never catch me dead with one of these things. And if you ever see me with one, it's AI. Having certain music tastes. A lot of the internet associates this with artists like Clairo or Biba Doobie. God, I hope I pronounced that right. And Laufey. Laufey? Artists that are generally considered soft indie alternative. I'm gonna be honest with you, out of all these singers, I've only really heard of the name of Biba Doobie. I'm sure they're all great, I'm just not a soft pop kind of guy. My music taste is like whack. It ranges from K-pop to rap, like Cupcake, Pitbull, rock, which some might argue that K-pop kind of falls into this category too. But from people that are smarter than I am, a lot of this curation of a playlist of indie gems, when in context of being performative, is about how it shapes the way that people perceive you. Or in the words of Medium writer Mayissa Ruisi, this whole meme is about men who curate instead of care. Thrifting. So, you know, it's going against consumerism, so you're showing that you stand for the progressive rejection of fast fashion. I will say though, I've found some cool shit at thrift shops. If it saves me a couple bucks, hey, that's extra money. You know what's missing though? A fucking Tamagotchi. Honestly, a lot of this just sounds like modern day hipsters to me. And of course, because it's the internet, it quickly evolved into something like this. I don't know, the way that the video is made, it low-key feels a bit like you're making fun of men just for reading. I'm sure that that's not the intention, but the context of this just, it feels a little off to me. Can you imagine you're filming and you see like the nerdiest man ever just reading Game of Thrones, just looking at them like... Again, I get the meme and such, but when you're projecting this onto strangers, I don't know, it just feels a little off to me. It's one thing to joke in private and another to just put people on blast over the internet. And then there are the performative male contests. That man's just asking for his labubu to get stolen. Like, that's some rare Coca-Cola shit. Also, this guy, he already has a pair of headphones. And he has a pair of wired ones. Like, what is going on?
Who here likes matcha?
Wait, I just found this one from Toronto at Toronto Metropolitan University, or TMU. Timu? I've been there before, so let's just see what happens when the Toronto man gets performative. Okay, not gonna lie, this actually looks kind of fun. Also, how are these things judged? Like, serious question. Is it the performative male final boss? I think this clip actually has a judge in it.
What makes you the most performative male?
Did he just say yowie? like the... I swear this is just Gen Alpha discovering what hipsters are. That guy does not have enough labubus on his tote bag, okay? That's an easy 5 out of 10. Also, oh my gosh, he dropped his matcha latte. Yo, that, like, I would have cried, okay? That shit is expensive. You know, the guys walk out to do a fit check and show how performative they are, and they're judged on their performativeness. Is that a word? Loki kind of looking like Drag Race here. Again, I don't know if I'm just out of the loop and should just be put in a retirement home somewhere, but I legit do not know who Clairo is. Again, I'm sure she's great. I'm just not sure how she became the icon that all the performative males gravitate towards. Actually, this video tags her song, so let me see if I know this one. I've heard the song on TikTok. Geez, over 1 million videos. Again, I've never really been a lo-fi music kind of guy, so this isn't really something I would normally listen to, but again, I'm not most people. My music taste is whack. I seriously thought it was a villain moment for a second. Then this guy came out, we had a bit of like an Avengers-like moment. Creative performance, bravo. Oh god, I've become a judge now too. In a way, we're all performative. Whether you're all pink, goth, emo, K-pop core, we pick aesthetics because it makes us feel accepted, or that we belong to a certain social circle. In a way, it's human nature. Most of us have done this in some form. Heck, I've done it, and I ended up being the worst member of a K-pop cover group. Or pretending to care about football to try and fit in with frat boys. I never cared about football, and all of that was just an awful mistake. Can you imagine me in one of those? Ugh. I do think that a lot of this has to do with gender roles. Like beer for the boys, matcha for the girls. Like, why are things so unnecessarily gendered these days? Guys, it's 2025, okay? Have we not moved on yet? At some point, this feels like some late-stage capitalism shit. Just the corpos selling you things that are needlessly gendered, and just selling you a whole lifestyle. They'll curate this whole thing so that you'll go and buy these things to fit in within the certain aesthetic, that archetype. It's why Labubus went viral, okay? It's not that everyone is in love with them. Many of them just want to fit in. While this might seem like all fun and games, for those who are willing to look deeper, there is a bit of a darker side to all of this. There's a creator named Katie Ho that I would highly recommend you check out if you're interested in learning more about all this. She's a lot smarter than me when it comes to this topic.
Talk about how Asian coded the stereotype is, you know, with like the matcha and lububus.
A lot of these things are indeed East Asian coded, and how by gendering such things, it contributes to the continued and historical Asian racism in North America, with a lot of Asian men being seen as less desirable and very soft for their interests, hobbies, and aesthetics. East Asian interests and their vibes are seen through this predatory light, which some argue also devalues them as partners. Because the North American manly hobbies are basically just who can chug the most beer and basically being a real-life GTA character. And after reading her stuff, I can totally see that a large portion of Asian guys, especially those into Asian American culture, might check a lot of these performative boxes. That basically describes a Hongdae man right there. When seen in this context, it's kind of like co-opting interests and aspects from other subcultures, and then sanitizing it for a bit of a wide audience. When in this case, it could be seen as toxic to some, especially if you're gendering things from these different subcultures, labeling such things as soft, and as signs of progressive values, when in reality, they may not even mean much besides being something that someone genuinely just likes as a hobby. Of course, there's a lot to talk about the aesthetic of the performance male. It's pretty funny, a lot of these skits and dumb contests are, and a lot of it just seems like soft boy aesthetics to me. Like, they're pretty tongue-in-cheek, for the most part, but just dumb shit that Gen Alphas do. Like these contests and all that. Of course, there's also that whole thing about being performative just to attract the female gaze. It's stuff to think about. Another thing is this really productive for society at this point to try to move men out of the whole alpha manosphere just for the internet to then make a joke out of them for being performative? I'll tell you right now, I'd rather see what's happening right here over bald raging alpha salesmen any day. Growing up, we were bullied if you liked stuff that girls would usually like as a boy. No Twilight, no Justin Bieber. Go and play with your Hot Wheels or fight your brother or something. In a weird way, it also kind of feels like we're circling right back to just reinforcing gender norms. And such is the circle of life, I guess. But in this case, it does seem like everyone is in on the joke this time around. And as long as people are aware and don't take it too seriously, I don't see much harm coming from this. And as long as it doesn't try to dissuade people from pursuing hobbies that they actually like. And also, hey, ultimately, reading is reading, and reading is what? Fundamental. Ultimately, for now, it seems like everyone's having a good time. We've gone a long way to try to erode these gender role stereotypes, and maybe I'm being way too optimistic, but maybe, just maybe, a silly contest like this could help bring people together. Maybe it'll build a community. Hey, the kids need a town square these days. There's nothing wrong with legit liking things. Of course, it's wrong to pretend to do so just to get into someone's pants. But if you like reading poetry, you love Claro, bell hooks, matcha latte, then hey, all the more power to you. But my god, please do not be a poser. And to my boys out there, it's cool to just exist and like your hobbies, okay? Even if society says they're more for women, just own up to your hobbies, okay? If you like something,
Just do it!
At the end of the day, a lot of this is about belonging and approval and connecting with people, or some big peacocking. And hey, it seems to have created a fun, trendy contest, and it's opening up discussion of gender norms. With that being said, what are your thoughts about the whole performative male trend? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Peace.